So what I thought, and what I argued, what I kind of hypothesized, is that technology alone isn't enough. That economic growth comes from a much more basic factor. And that factor I called human creativity. That the places that grow and develop economically over long periods and have a sustainable economic edge are the ones that tap and mobilize and harness human creativity in all its forms. Certainly technological creativity, innovation, and invention. But you need to combine that with economic creativity. You need to have a thriving group of entrepreneurial talent that can take that technology and be creative with it economically and turn it into companies. But you also need artistic and aesthetic and design creativity and civic and political creativity. And when all those forms of creativity come together in a place for any particular reason whatsoever, that place begins to grow propulsively. From Athens to Rome to Venice to Florence to London to Paris to Berlin to New York, and now the great conurbation on the West Coast in California, stretching from San Francisco down right here to San Diego. The reasons for that growth has always been the flourishing of creativity broadly defined. Now, people sometimes say to me, well, Rich, we just had a little debate with a great fellow who lives up the road named Joel Kotkin. You probably know him. If you want to see the debate, they ran it in my hometown paper first, in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. It's on the website, creativeclass.org. And Joel said, he posed the question that many people say, well, Rich, how do you explain Silicon Valley? Isn't that where all the nerdy, geeky, button-down engineers live who want to avoid the hurly-burly, wacky, creative climates of these urban centers and all the other things you write about? Well, I just always write back the same thing. Where's Silicon Valley? Well, it's in your home state of California. And where exactly in California is this Silicon Valley? Well, on a map, you would have the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood here, and you would have the Monterey Peninsula there, and smack dab in the middle would be this place called the Silicon Valley. And what were those people? And what do we know about the Haight-Ashbury? What do we know about these communities? Well, we have the Grateful Dead, the Jefferson Airplane, the Mamas and the Papas, my personal favorite, Country Joe and the Fish, of course, the literary innovators of Monterey, and all of that for years and years, the Monterey Pop Festivals, which introduced people like Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin to broad popular audiences, a place where every crazy person in the world migrated. You know it, you live in California. It's where all my crazy friends went to San Francisco. And what did these guys who made a computer really look like? Do we remember? Can we image back to 1972, Gates and Allen, Jobs and Wozniak, with hair down to their shoulders and ripped blue jeans and Birkenstock sandals and tie-dyed T-shirts? And I always ask the question, friends like Joel and others, can you imagine Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak? I'm not going to pick on San Diego. I'm not going to pick on anybody else's. I'll just pick on mine. Imagine these guys coming up with their box, a personal computer, to the offices of Mellon Bank in downtown Pittsburgh in 1972. How far do you think they would have gotten? You think they would have gotten past the security guard? Get those hippies out of here. But in Silicon Valley, they were just normal, innovative, creative people who were hanging posters on the wall, naming their company after the Beatles recording studio, programming, Beatles music and Jimi Hendrix music on their machines, phone hacking at night. They were just normal people.